Restoring broken lives is needed today. Teaching to live and to forgive. Restoring broken lives with Jesus Christ. Restoring broken lives today. Some people leave out the one in charge. He's pursue your heart every step from the start. He loves you so much.
Good night, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Co. Today is January 29th, 2026. This is my first guest, y'all, for January for 2026 this year of our third season, and I am hyped. I am excited. I am exhilarated. Let me change that word a little bit. Exhilarated. And let us meet Ms. Lenge Stephens. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Listen, we are just, enamored with your work. I am. And I know other people are too. So that's why y'all need to go out and get it. But before we start, let me say something. Through rhythm and revelation, Lenge Stephens pens a rebuilding anthem for the overlooked souls who've carried the world on quiet backs, still daring to dream free. Tell me something about you, Miss Stephens.
I told you before, I'm a walking controversy.
Okay.
I can be very extroverted, but I'm also very much introverted. I would prefer to be introverted.
Got it.
I know that sounds crazy, but
yeah. No, it doesn't. It does not. It does not. I told you we've had awesome talks about your poetry because I'm an English teacher and I just love talking to you about so many different things. So that is not, that's who you are. That's who you are. And you just said a walking controversy, which is exhilarated through your poetry. And just talking about your poetry right now, before the fire had a name, it says she was already burning. Tell me about the title of this book.
Well, I think it's like two parts. Like, first, I felt like people needed to know that survival isn't shameful. And secondly, when you are really building a relationship with God and you are aligning, you're going to go through the process of going through the fire.
Wow.
Pruning. Pruning is not glamorous. It's painful. It can be isolating. So, this was the version of me before I discovered my voice. Hence, before the fire had a name.
Got it. So before the fire had a name is referring to you directly. Or other women who didn't have a voice?
I am speaking for women that didn't have a voice, but my experiences correlate with every title within my book.
It's your testimony.
Absolutely.
Got it. Well, I want to ask you another question because we're just flowing with questions. Why? I want y'all to see this book because I was preparing and saying, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to put on? And my personal assistant, Shadrika Williams, I'm going to give her props. She said, when I look at that title and I look at the picture, I think about a warrior, just somebody walking in the fields like Wakanda.
Absolutely.
So tell me about this warrior. Because when I saw, I was like, Deborah is about to conquer it all, conquer it all. So tell me about this. Why this illustration? Because it just points at you.
You have the armor of God. I need you to understand that I'm fully clothed every day in my armor.
Yeah.
But so I feel like why not? Right. I can be strong and be a woman. I don't always be in a dainty aspect. I wanted women to recognize that it is okay to be strong.
It is.
I don't think that even though I understand the parameters of being delicate, I realize that I'm not always delicate. Some situations don't call for being delicate. So I got the armor because I know that it was going to be eye catching. I know that it was going to come with questions. Is me taking a chance on my quirky ideas and just seeing where I land.
I love it. I love it. Especially she's walking with her sword up, saying that I'm coming to conquer. I'm
Absolutely.
I'm coming to win.
We
I'm
build it.
I'm coming with a fight.
Absolutely.
Expectancy. I'm coming with a victory.
Absolutely.
With
Well,
talk to me.
the victory is already set up for you if
Yes,
you are God.
yes,
You
yes,
just have to be strong enough and hold on long enough to get to the finish line. Now,
yes,
that's not necessarily always a glamorous feat. So many times people want, you pray to God for things, right? Oh Lord, bless me. But you don't understand the process. Maybe you're not equipped to handle or steward or manage what
yes.
you are praying for. So he has to take you through the motions, take you through the fire, take you through experiences in order for you to get there. Because if he gives it to you too soon, in some instances, it will destroy you. It will break you.
When we were doing our pre-interview, and let me backtrack because my husband always says you don't when you I said Deborah in the making. So let me tell some people I'm talking about Deborah and Judges, y'all. Y'all go and read. Talking about Deborah and Judges. But what I want to say in our pre-interview, you said come Jonah.
Oh, absolutely. I
Talk to
was
me about being
absolutely,
Jonah.
absolutely. I did not. I didn't go seeking this. This is my books were the version of me doing it scared. I said, okay, Lord, like you've given me this vision. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to see where it lands. I had no idea or like knowledge of editing. I had no idea how to publish a book.
Got it. Yes.
Baby, I didn't want this because I knew it was going to require me to open up and share different aspects of myself with other people. And I don't mind that. I just prefer to do it with the people that I prefer to do it with. This is setting me up on another level of being completely vulnerable, with different people,
Yes.
that
Yes.
I'm not necessarily comfortable with, that I might not necessarily know, but I feel like it was important for me to do it because a lot of times we don't realize that like when God gives you a vision, you are assigned people, and those people can't get free until you step into whatever your purpose is.
And
And
that's what you said
so,
you found your voice.
exactly. So this was that. This was me taking a chance and no idea what I was doing, but I just said, okay, Lord, I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna show up for me every single day.
Let me read this. I'm going to read one of her poems. We were talking about this in the pre-interview as far as her rhyme scheme, how she does AABB almost throughout the book. And that rhyme scheme is not really easy to do. It
Mhm.
really isn't. Some people do. They'll do ABAB. I'm sorry, you have AABB. You have the
Mhm.
whole thing. So I'm gonna read this one. She doesn't do quiet to keep the peace. And tell me when I'm speaking, how does this relate to you? And to because it spoke to me. And I'm gonna ask you a question after this. She used to hush so they'd feel safe, swallow truth to stay in a place, but silence never kept her whole. It carved out marrow, starved her soul. Now,
Mhm.
when she speaks, the air turns still. She drops the truth, the spirit's will. She's not broken, she was unseen, no longer shrinking to seem serene. Talk to me about that one.
Well, um, I feel like in finding or really understanding who I am as a person, I can look back and name several instances where I shrunk to make other people around me comfortable, or
Oh, wow. Yes.
where I wasn't my colorful self, because it made people uncomfortable. And so we're not in that era. That's in my past. And I feel like a lot of times people go through people pleasing and being silent to keep the peace and not necessarily voicing their opinion, but that doesn't necessarily make you confrontational. So, I mean, we can agree to disagree. So this is me standing in my truth.
And your poetry ministers, because when you just said that, I'm thinking, as so many women will say, or people, you know what, I kind of held back a little bit,
Hmm. Hmm.
so I wouldn't seem so forceful,
Hmm.
or they wouldn't say, she's coming off too strong or combative.
Right, right, right. Aggressive.
So, I'm holding it back a little bit. And
Hmm.
I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying that it ministers, because when I heard this, it just was like, man, it's okay, because I, I can do this.
Right. And like that's, my whole thing is, as I told you before, I can't speak for other people. I can only speak for me and my experiences with God. God is with me. I know He answers my prayers. He's got to go with me. We're a package deal. So therefore, if He's not there, like I don't want to be involved. But I feel like that is also like when you make a conscious effort to like really truly align with God and like stop playing. And I'm not even saying like some people don't realize that they're playing, but like when you really give God a yes, that means that you're giving Him everything. So the whole point and purpose is like, I want to leave you in a better position than when I first found you. Like your true job, everyone's job, your first job is to serve. That's your real job, to lead people better, to show them a different way, to love them, even if they are being rude, even if they are being nasty. You know,
Gotcha. Yes,
it,
yes.
but that takes training. That
It
takes,
does. It does. And it
you
takes
know,
strength.
absolutely. But you have to pray for that. So those you like the whole concept is this: there is nothing that you're gonna pray and ask God for that you can't be ready to go to war for, because the thing is when you pray and you ask for something, He wants to know, are you real?
Exactly. And are you ready?
Absolutely.
Are you ready? And
Absolutely.
I want to ask you another question.
Sure.
Um, so suppose somebody came up to you and said, Lindsay, you wrote this book, so you're hiding behind your words.
Oh, absolutely not. How I'm not.
Yes. So what would you tell that person?
I'm very vocal. I can hold a conversation with anyone. We can chat about anything.
So you're
Um,
not hiding behind your poetry. This is you're speaking. Was that what you would tell the person?
Absolutely. I'm speaking through my poetry. There's
Yes.
nothing hidden over here.
So yes, you're not hiding it. You're putting it out there.
Absolutely.
Got you. Yes. Yes. I mean, and as I said, I'm gonna read one more.
Okay.
I deserve to be poured into.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just that one, because I tell everybody, the theme of our women's ministry at the church and what God gave me is that you're worth it. You're
Hmm.
worth it because God said so.
Hmm.
So I deserve to be poured into. Yes, I do. She poured until her pulse ran thin, kept others fed while starving within. Set tables wide, yet none for her. Served her peace on plates of blur. Ooh,
Hmm.
talk to us about that one, Lynch.
Because when you realize who you are, when you know your worth, you really begin to understand that who other people say you are doesn't matter, because God already told me who I was. I don't need your validation. I know I'm worthy.
Yes, yes, yes.
I know that I'm equipped. So yes, I deserve to be poured into. Absolutely. We all deserve to be poured into. And if I can't have that, then I like that for you, but I can't be over there.
Yes. Y'all need to get this book. Books, which we're gonna talk about later. What is your inspiration? Or what was your inspiration? Um, are there any other writers that you like or you've gleaned from? You know, we know you take a whole lot from the Word of God because, as we said, your poetry ministers. Are there any physical
Mhm.
writers, you know what I
Well,
mean, past or present, that have influenced you?
Langston,
Your work.
Maya Angelou's, Toni Morrison, Edgar Allan Poe, some of my favorites. Like I told you before, A Dream Deferred, I just knew, like,
Yes.
because it's captivating, it's riveting, it makes you think. And I'm a very analytical person. So, like, I didn't want to do something that was just surface level. I'm deep. So, I wanted to give you something that was going to not only make you think, but equip you potentially in making the necessary changes to
Say that,
become a better version of you.
say that last part about the necessary changes.
Mhm.
Say that last part about the necessary changes because that was just iconic.
I wanted to equip you with setting the tone for you to be able to make the necessary changes within yourself to become the better version of yourself, because that should be everyone's goal. Like, I don't want to just change, like I want to transform. Like, I want to be the version of me that God had in mind when he created me. And I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily reach that point because fear controls them.
So in writing the poetry, you just wanted to get in touch. You wanted people to get in touch with um, who they are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
If I asked you what was one of your favorites, I don't know if you have your book near you.
I do, and I'm going to tell you.
Tell me one of your favorites.
Now you know who you are.
What page? What page? What page,
That's
Linda?
on page 109.
You want to read a little bit of that for us?
Sure.
And then let's expound upon it.
Look at you, still standing after all those storms.
Mm,
Forgot your name once, but the spirit kept it warm. Even silence couldn't steal your tune. You were written in sun, baptized in moon, the truth carved deep along your spine. Child, you were always the sacred design. They tried to name you fragile clay, but you were still wrapped up in prey. Cracked glass still mirrors grace, and your scars preach from holy place. You didn't just survive, you soared. Didn't just cry, you roared. You are what chains could not contain. You are what prayers became. Dorothy's hum, Burdell's hand of fight, mapped your spirit in gospel light. Their dreams were seeds in your chest, now bloom, full grown, now manifest. You are not confusion, not mistake. You are the breath prophets ache to make. A lineage loud with sacred noise, a body filled with ancestral voice.
my goodness. You can stop right there. I saw you
Oh,
breathe. You can stop right there. And I think what would really what caught me, because I told you I read your whole book.
mhm,
They tried to name you fragile clay, but you were still wrapped up in prey.
mhm.
Cracked glass still mirrors grace, and your scars preach from holy place. Just that stanza. Where did that
Because
come from?
the thing is like, we all have scars, we all have pain, we all have a story. But I can't let my scars define me. So for me, my scars make me stronger. I could take it from the standpoint of, okay, well, I had a bad experience. And you have two options. You can either sit there and say, okay, well, woe is me, have a pity party. And I'm not saying that whatever you're feeling is not valid. I'm just saying that after you have that moment, I'm gonna need you to get back up and I'm gonna need you to get back to work. And so the thing is like, again, you want to pray for something. You want God's hand, but you don't want his pressure. The thing is I need you to do the work. You have to put in the work. You have to do that. You have to put in the effort. Nothing comes easy. Life is full of challenges. So it's like, okay, I can't cry about it all day. If I want to get to the finish line, this is what's required. I got to keep going.
And my goodness, I'm not going to say the last lines yet. I'll wait till we almost finish the interview because your aunt, Pastor Candy Brown, the theme or motto for Restoration Center Shreveport is bruised but not broken.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard this, it just kind of like, okay, flow with it. And our Restoration Center, Bossier City is restoring broken lives.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's basically what you're saying. You need to, because you say, okay, it's time to get up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the option is there for you to be restored. You've been bruised, but you're not broken. So
Absolutely.
you make the choice to stand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm
And
not always an easy feat. It can be very challenging, especially like depending on whatever the situation may be, but God is never not with you. All you have to do is call on him, like there have been nights where, like you do the ugly cry, baby. Listen, I've had them. Snot everywhere, just crying, just broke down, literally. And the great thing about God is like, I never have to worry about him running and telling nobody what it is. I can go.
yes, yes.
And I know that he is going to hear me. He's going to comfort me. But at the end of the day, I have an obligation to fulfill. I have to get up. I have to keep doing the work. It is easy to die. It's hard to live. It's hard to keep getting up every single day and having hope. It's hard to give people grace when they're not giving you grace. It's hard to operate in love, even though someone may be trying to tear you down. So it's like those types of things, like you just have to take them and know that it is happening for you. It's not happening to you. Everything is meant to build you.
And even in those hard situations,
Absolutely.
and I tell people this all the time, we still have to minister,
Absolutely.
still have to love, we still have to forgive. And that's one of the last questions I want to ask you. Is there forgiveness in your poetry?
Absolutely. But yes, absolutely. The thing is, it's twofold because it's not, about forgiving other people. It's you forgiving you for whatever the situation may be that you deem to be like, terrible or hard. It is the fact that, okay, like if I make a poor decision, that's going to come with consequences. Okay, so I made the poor decision, so I can't dwell on that. I have to reroute, go re-strategize and say, okay, well, I made this poor decision this time. I need to learn from that situation and move along. And it's not to sound harsh, but I think that like a lot of times people say that they forgive because you are thinking that some type of way like it's going to affect the other person. Like you are forgiving for you,
Yes, yes.
giving to
To be free. Yes.
yourself to have your peace and your sanity, and not only that, like for your spirit to be okay, because when you are in an uproar, when you're mad, your spirit is not settled. It's in chaos, and it's negative. And we're all about the light over here. We like positive over here.
About the light and positivity, and that just gives me I'll segue with if there are any questions you want people to pour them in now, because Lenge is right here. She is right here. And I said I asked him pre-question before that one of my best friends asked me as a teacher, but we didn't say that on air.
Mhm.
I want to ask you now the question I was posed, because you're such a great writer and orator, may I add. How would you influence, you're not a teacher, but you are. If you are in front of the classroom, how would you get the students excited about poetry?
I would absolutely read it.
You would tell them to just read it, and they said, well,
No,
I'm
no,
reading this, but this doesn't mean anything to
I
me.
I would read it. I would read it. And
Yes, okay.
because I feel like, yes, I can read it just in the book, but when you're reading it verbally, you get to feel the words. You understand what I'm saying through my words. And
Yes,
like
yes.
connection would be there. And I feel like there would still be some people that probably didn't agree, but I think that it would definitely be a great conversation piece for
And
sure.
now another question. Do you think that your poetry is rappable? Could they put it into a rap? Somebody asked. That's a question.
Um, hey, I'm sure with
If
the
it
right
is spoken word, talk to us. Yes,
I'm sure with the right beat it could happen.
got it, got it. Yes, and you talked about how it speaks volumes. And as far as how did you come up with the rhyme scheme, or did you just wrote, or
I,
how would you tell? What would you tell somebody writing poetry? Would you tell them go for a different rhyme scheme, or just write?
you just have to write. I wrote and like I so I'm a little like okay, so sometimes, I have instances where when I can't shut my brain off, um, I might get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, like write something down, and or I might get up and like try to make something. Like I have to do that because like that's just part of who I am. So it's like I once I write it down, I can leave it alone, but then I go back to it and I'm like, okay, and then I can start again. Um, I feel like you're gonna edit and edit and edit again before you get your final product. So I would just say, right, you know,
And
this piece might not go with that piece, but it might go somewhere
right.
else.
And why is your poetry different?
It's different because, as I explained to you off camera, my true job is I am a generational curse breaker. I am a disruptor. I'm a truth seeker. So it is meant to make you confront you and
Mm,
your pattern behavior because
wow.
we all have patterns. We all have vices. But, sometimes we have those moments where we're like, okay, well, I want to change, but you're not putting in the work. You're not making the effort. You're talking about it, but you aren't necessarily moving forth with the actions. So that's why.
And I want to say that I read Lenge's whole book, because she simply said, she texted me and said, I'm sending you the book. And I read the whole book, just sitting down. I picked it up again. I read poems again. As I said, I do love poetry, but it's a testimony. It's a story of who you are. And then when I met you, it was like, yeah, this
Uh,
is it.
yeah.
This is Lenge. This is her. This is what you get with
Yep.
no apology, non-apologetic. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna read this last line, y'all. The story's done, but you remain full of thunder, oil, and flame. Now walk in it out bold. I'm
Absolutely.
shaken free. You know your name. Now you know who you be.
Mhm.
Lenge Stephens, everybody. Before the fire had a name, and get ready for bloodline, braids, and bullets.
Yep.
Now, see, God did it. God
Absolutely.
did it. God did it.
Because
God did it.
I'm just
Man,
just
say
a
it
vessel.
again.
I said I'm just a vessel. It wasn't me.
God did it. And listen, I need y'all to tell me, so let somebody know where, how can they get these awesome books? Because you have a different site, and I want you to explain that.
Oh, so my site is via PayHip, and that's because I have my books, but I'm also building another brand. I have a hair care brand.
And we'll talk about how your hair speaks. Go ahead.
And so initially when I was scouting for places to house my stuff, I didn't really know if I was going to make it a physical book or if I wanted to do it digitally. So with PayHip, I'm allowed to hold digital products as well as house physical products. So it worked for me. The fees aren't as high as like other platforms. So along with that, I could do a membership. I have some other master classes like along the way dealing with like identity work and healing down the line. And so yeah, I'm allowed there. I can house everything in one and not have to worry about having different sites or going to different platforms.
And I wanted you to say that because a lot of times we only know it, different other common platforms. So this was something different, and it was pretty cool. I love the way um, it works out. So I want to ask you to please give us some different things about your other products. Y'all, Lindsay's coming back. She's coming back. Give us one quick. She's coming back. And as she is coming back, some of the things that Lindsay talked about, her hair products, she talked, now we spoke earlier how just as she wrote her poetry, that's what happens with her hair products. Her hair products speak out to you. It looks different. It feels differently. The feel is different. The volume as you see, because I'm
Mhm.
sure she uses her own products. So not, expand before we leave. Give us a quick advertisement, as my mother would say, about your products.
So I created my hair products because when I moved to Texas, the weather was not conducive to my hair. The products that I've been using were not working. And with the heat here and the other things, just trying different things, I got irritated because nothing was working. I had to cut my hair. And so, like, I just started kind of like experimenting. But also, again, like I said, everything is about making you better. I considered people that have postpartums, perimenopause, menopause, you have a changing mane. Your body's changing. And so my stuff is 92% or better plant-based. That was very important to me. I didn't want to use things that had like a lot of filler oils. I use organic high grade oils, and everything's made by hand. And I wanted to be able to not give you a promise or a guarantee that your hair is going to grow. My products are more so meant to support a healthy hair journey,
So,
that
yes.
so goes with a healthy diet, because they work in tandem. Everything works in tandem, you
Well,
know.
I just want you to meet this artist, this entrepreneur, Lenge Stephens. Oh my, look, you got some awesome things, and we are very, very proud of you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Again, that fire that's within her, fire that's within us. And let me add, if you saw anything on my Facebook page, on Lindsay's, or anyone who tagged in, we ask you to just like, and I know subscribe to Lindsay, but also you've seen people My niece, who was 15, she chose her own poem to read, so it spoke to her. My aunt, who's in her 70s, poem spoke to her. We had all different people. Somebody 32, Janelle Johnson. We had Thais Williams. We had different people read her poetry. You heard Lenge herself. You heard me. Just picked it up. So it speaks to all ages.
And that was
And my niece said,
supposed to do.
Auntie Simone, I'm going to read this one.
Okay.
So let us introduce, let us present, let us keep her in your memory, your Rolodex. Also go on the platform and buy it.
Absolutely.
Before the Hot Fire had a name, Ms. Lenge Stephens. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have enjoyed your interview. Thank you for allowing me to interview you.
Thank you for letting me be here.
So meet her, y'all, before the fire had a name. Good night, everybody. Thank you, Lenge.
You're welcome. Good night.